Razabani for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I'm delighted to have with me today on this lovely, beautiful, sunny day, a beautiful man himself, Mr. Sam Jones. Sam, how are we doing?
Plenty more that came from. Yes, mate. Good. How are you, mate?
I'm good. Before we start about boxing or anything else, I just want to say massive congratulations. I know you put a picture out on your Instagram a couple of weeks ago, becoming a father soon. So I'm guessing your whole life is going to change over the next couple of months and then moving forward.
Flipping it. Yes, mate. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. We actually announced it at Christmas, but we announced it. Well, we're having a little boy, and only like a few weeks ago. So yeah, we're doing a lot of baby shopping. I've just bought a house, so like I'm moving house next month. Where is it? Next month, and then the month after is when the baby's due. So it's hectic at the moment, mate. But I'm really like grateful to have something to look forward to, because not many people have got things to look forward to nowadays in these lockdown and stuff like that. But all's good, mate. All is good. I couldn't be happier. Thanks very much for asking.
Are you sitting down every night making a list, what you need, what you don't need, or you're letting the missus take care of that?
Yeah, she's doing all that, mate. She's doing all the I've not really had a say in much, if I'm honest, mate. I'm just like, I think she's chose everything with the house, the baby. I mean, I'm definitely having a strong input on the name, though. That's for sure. I put my foot down on that.
Sam, let's go back to Saturday night first. We saw another British champion crown in Lawrence Okolie. Are you impressed with how much he's achieved? British, European, Commonwealth, and now world champion in just 16 fights.
Yeah, mate, it's a brilliant achievement. I knew Lawrence Okolie, like, cause he's done lots of rounds with Joe. I've seen Lawrence up and close, like sparring Joe in the Haymaker gym. And Lawrence is a problem for anyone. It might be different when he moves up to heavyweight. But a cruiserweight, he's a nightmare. He's just a nightmare because he's so long and awkward. And listen, credit to Shane McGuigan. He's done a great job with him. And Lawrence you can't pick holes in his performance. He done well. I thought Glowacki was, because it sounds like I'm discrediting the it's hard. Like, I didn't think he was very good, put it that way, Glowacki. I think he got it all wrong. Like Lawrence Okolie's, like, in my opinion, yeah, people might disagree with me, but it's similar to Wilder. And Lawrence Okolie, for me, is a better boxer than Wilder, if you understand if that makes sense. But the way he shoots his right hand is very similar to Wilder. The same similar kind of gangly dimensions, and the power he generates is like a missile. So they're very similar kind of fighters. However, I think Lawrence is a better technically, more gifted than Wilder. So I just want to put that out there before anyone complains about what I'm saying. But I know what I mean. But yeah, going off his performance, great performance, and Lawrence Okolie is going to take some beating. He really is. But yeah, great performance. I want to see him fight Arsene Goulamirian. Not many people over in the UK will know much about him. We spent a lot of time in Big Bear with Arsene, and Arsene trains with Abel Sanchez. And Joe had some unbelievable spars with Arsene. He's as strong as an ox, comes very forward. Like, his style for Lawrence is better for a crowd to watch, because Arsene will not take a back step. He won't stand off him like what Glowacki did. Arsene will just go for Lawrence from round 1 to 12 or however long it lasts. But you can't bet against Lawrence Okolie against anyone with the dimensions he has and how awkward he is. And but yeah, listen, massive credit to Lawrence, and I was ecstatic. In fact, I was ecstatic for him. I thought because he's come under a lot of criticism, and the way the fight was going, I was thinking, oh, it's going to be a bit not boring, but like I was thinking, oh, we're falling into that. Like, Lawrence he won with ease, didn't he? He didn't lose a round. He made light work of it in the end. But listen, he put one a right hand down the pipe and sparked him. So you've got to just take your hat off to Lawrence and the work he's done in the gym, because you can see he's improved massively. But yeah, I want to see him in the big unification fights now.
About 18 months ago, a lot of people were criticizing Lawrence for his style being very boring.
Yeah.
He's hugging a lot in the ring. But how much has he improved more lately? And how much more do you think he can improve?
Yeah, like I just said, you can see the improvements. Lawrence has always been awkward to spar, because I've seen Joe share many rounds with him in David Hayes' gym. But yeah, you can see the improvements. And yeah, he'll keep improving. He's only a young man. He'll keep improving. But you can only you can't pick holes in his last performance. He jabbed his nut in, didn't he? And then he took him out with an enormous right hand. Deontay Wilder style right hand. It was a 10 out of 10 performance.
He's clearly mentioned to me after post fight, I was in the bubble, and he said, I want to fight Breedis next. He's the best in the division. I want to go straight there. I want to unify and then move to heavyweight. But he then said, if I go to heavyweight, I don't want to fight those media level fighters. I want to jump in right at the top. I spoke to Tony Belly on Saturday night, and Tony said to me, he would love.
I already saw it. Yeah, I'd love to see him against Joe Joyce. Yeah, listen, I'm pleased Joe Joyce is in people's mouths, because it was only a short while ago that people would do everything to avoid saying the name Joe Joyce. So listen, Lawrence and Joe are very good friends. I consider Lawrence a friend of mine, but business is business. If that fight ever presented itself, then Joe wouldn't shy away from that fight at all. And it's two Brits again, like you've seen. Joe Joyce will fight anybody, and I'm sure Lawrence will as well. But Lawrence has got a long way to go before that kind of thing could happen. But who knows in the future? But until then, Joe was actually ringside commentating for 5 Live and supporting Lawrence, and Joe was really excited to support Lawrence, and he was very supportive of the performance. And as I say, what a win for Lawrence. I wouldn't like him to box Marius Brady straight away. I would like him to box Arsene Gulamarian, or maybe Ilunga Makabu, somebody like that. Win those belts and then go for Marius Brady, because that fight with Bradis is he's a huge name. Like he's a huge arena seller. He sells enormous amounts of tickets. He's a hero in his home country. That fight, if that was built, can be the biggest fight in the division. So I think just let it simmer a little. I'm not one for like letting fights simmer along, but that fight can be marinated a little bit longer. Get Lawrence in another belt or 2 by the end of this year, and then Bradis very early part of next year would be enormous.
Sam, it's Monday, which means it's fight week. After many months and many dates that changed, Dillian Whyte finally gets the opportunity this Saturday from Gibraltar to avenge the defeat against Alexander Povetkin. Is this do or die for Dillian?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a must-win fight for Dillian. I speak to Dillian all the time, to be fair. I think he gets bored in Portugal and he just messages people out his name. But yeah, we have a funny chats with Dillian. I've got a lot of time for him. Really respect him. Really entertaining fighter. I'm like, as a boxing fan, I'm really I love watching Dillian Whyte. I've loved watching his rise. And I was devastated for him. Like, I was genuinely choked up with that performance, because he's waited so long for his opportunity, and he got caught with the shot from the high heavens, didn't he? Like that uppercut. And I think Dillian was let him off the hook a few times in that last fight. I think Dillian had him hurt a couple of times, and I think Dillian Whyte, the maximum violence, Dillian Whyte should have took him out. But this fight, I think Dillian will stop him this time. And I think he'll do a real good job on him this time. I think he'll beat him within 7 or 8 rounds. And I think you're going to see a lot more aggressive Dillian Whyte this time. I've got a load of confidence in him that he'll get the job done on Saturday.
We know the
I'll be supporting him from my living room.
We know the original fight was supposed to take place in November, and due to whatever, it got delayed. But do you feel like the extra time has worked out a blessing in disguise for Dill?
Yeah, 100%. I wasn't like, if it was me involved, I wouldn't have want Dillian to fight him straight away, because those knockout losses, I mean, you need time to regroup and go over your. He's had more time to prepare. He's brought in somebody else to help him in camp. Yeah. So it's the extra time. Povetkin's got older and Dillian Whyte's got wiser. So I as I say, I really strongly fancy Dillian to do a good job on Povetkin.
We know Joe has moved trainers himself. Is it hard when you bring somebody new into the team to kind of, for a fight, to adapt immediately, especially first fight back?
it can be, but like it doesn't work for everybody. Like it's not been like we've not planned on like moving trainers like with Joe in the situation. Like at the beginning, he was with Ismail Salas, and then Salas went to Qatar to train the Prince. Joe just didn't have the resources to move his camps over to Qatar. So we were kind of forced to do that. No fault of anybody's, but Joe, if it was up to Joe-Joyce, he would have stayed with Salas the whole time. However, for Joe's really like a sponge. He really is like, and all the trainers he's gone to, like he went to Abel Sanchez after that. Abel, there's still elements of Abel Sanchez in Joe's game. Do you understand what I mean? As there is Adam Booth's. Adam Booth worked a lot on Joe's legs, and Adam Booth did a great job with Joe-Joyce. But that was the case of Joe wanted to take his camp abroad, and then it kind of he worked, and somehow we managed to get back with Salas, and it happened very organically. But every trainer that Joe's been with, Steve Broughton included, will always be a part of Joe's training setup, have brought something to Joe's game. And as I say, it's benefited Joe. That might not be the same for other people. That's why I'm not saying, oh, go and change trainer, but it's worked for Joe-Joyce. It might not be what other. It might not work for others, is what I'm saying. But Joe's picked up elements of all those trainers, and it's made him a better fighter for it.
Can Whyte knock out Povetkin, do you think?
Can Whyte knock out Povetkin? I believe he will knock out Povetkin. Yeah, I believe he'll stop him within 7 or 8 rounds.
Undercard, packed undercards, a couple of heavyweight fights on there. Campbell Hatton, maybe can he carry over the legacy that Ricky's left, do you think?
He's fighting. I've just literally just before you came on to me, I've just checked the guy, his kid he's fighting. Jesus, I forget his name already. He's a Mexican. And he's got like 9 losses on but he's got like 42 wins from what I've checked. It might be the wrong guy, but it seems like a lively little start for Campbell Hatton, and fair play to him. Listen, anybody in this country that's a boxing fan is watching a boxing night, and the surname's Hatton, you're going to be excited and excited for the journey, because everybody was a Ricky Hatton fan, weren't they? And I believe if Campbell can achieve half of what his dad's done, then he would have done a great job. And listen, I'm really looking forward to watch Campbell fight on Saturday.
We've got Eric Molina, Fabio Wardy. We've got Ted Cheeseman fighting James Metcalf, Chris Congo against Mackinson. So it's a nice little card there in Gibraltar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great fight. I'm looking forward to all the fights. I mean, Cheeseman, Metcalf, that's a cracker. Cheeseman's never really in a boring fight, is he? He couldn't be in a boring fight if he tried. Fabio Wardy's been sparring Johnny Fisher, my young heavyweight. He's been doing Johnny Fisher's been doing loads of solid rounds with Fabio. Eric Molina, it's a case of what has he got left. I'm intrigued by that fight. Nick Webb against Eric Pfeiffer. It's a strange fight for Nick Webb to take, in my opinion. I think Pfeiffer's like, yeah, he's not set the world on fire, but what do you gain by fighting Eric Pfeiffer? Do you know what I mean? For me, it's a crazy match to take from Nick Webb, because Nick Webb's been, I don't want to put this, but like, I know people have been wanting to make the fight with Nick Webb. Promoters from both sides, Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, have been contacting Nick Webb, and the fights have been kind of brushed to one side because he's trying to wait for that one big fight, and he's ended up fighting Eric Pfeiffer. Like, I think it's crazy, but madness in my opinion. But yeah, look, intriguing. I'm intrigued by it. McKinson against Congo. Really looking forward to that. I mean, I've not seen much of McKinson, if I'm honest. I mean, I know he mentions Florian Marco all the time. He constantly tags Florian Marco. We're going to see how good he is. He's got a good ranking in the WBO. I fancy Chris Congo to beat him, because I think Congo's that little bit stronger than him, and got, as I say, got a good amateur pedigree behind him. Chris Congo. I fancy Cheeseman to beat Metcalf. I think Ted Cheeseman's a little bit more experienced. Is that all of them? I think that's all of them. Yeah, that's all of them.
That is. You know on top of your head, Sam. Sam, another fight announced on Friday by Eddie Hearn. Cracking little show, May 1st. A venue to be announced.
Oh,
Derek Chisora and Joseph-Parker. Obviously, I know
Derek Chisora, pound for pound, pay-per-view king.
Is that a pay-per-view card, firstly?
I'm going to watch it. It's not for me to say. You'll see by the numbers that it does, but I'm I'm going to watch the fight. I can't. I mean, if I'm really honest, I think Katie Taylor and Natasha Jonas deserves to be the main event out of all of those fights. I think it's that's just my opinion. I believe Katie Taylor can headline her own shows. I believe with that Derek Chisora-Parker as well. It's still a really strong card. But for me personally, I think Tash and Katie deserve to be main event for that show. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it regardless. Really intriguing fights. The Marcus Morrison one against Eubanks, a crazy fight. I never saw that coming in a. Usually you get wind of fights that are being made, like the Jonas Katie Taylor fight. I've been hearing that for months. That's in the works, so that wasn't a shock. Parker Chisora, I knew that was going to take place, but it's a crazy shout, isn't it? From Marcus Morrison's a really good fighter. Like, I like him as a fighter, but I think Eubanks class. I think he's very, very good. Very inactive, but I think he's class, and I think I think Eubanks going to win that fight. But yeah, Parker Chisora, flipping it, you can never write Derek off, can you? You can never write him off. And Parker didn't set the world on fire in his last fight against Junior Farr. So it's a very intriguing fight.
Parker's obviously changed trainers. He's now moved to Dublin. He's training with Andy Lee. How much has Chisora got left in him, do you think?
I don't know. They're gonna keep rolling him out, aren't they, Derek? And until the wheels fall off, probably. I don't know, but Derek's always going to get good fights because he's a big personality, isn't he? He's got an exciting style. He brings it, and when Derek's on it, Derek can be a problem for anybody. So you can't. Listen, I love Derek Chisora. Everybody likes watching Derek Chisora, don't you? Like at press conferences, like he livens up a show, doesn't he? So. Good luck to Derek. David Hayes done a great job with Derek. He kind of gave him the rebirth, didn't he? This War Chisora thing. So I wish him well.
Sam, I know there's probably not a lot you can say about Usyk-Joyce. A lot has been going on, 93-7, 80-20, these splits. And I know there's a lot of work going on in the background. My question is, based on recent interviews with Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren about AJ Fury, about contradictions about when does each promoter want this fight to take place? Is the Usyk-Joyce fight based on the fact when Fury Joshua is announced? Because the WBO, but I'm guessing the WBO belt is crucial. You'd rather fight for the full belt rather than the interim belt. Yeah. So would you wait? They've obviously got this date of 28 days to get everything solved. So are you going to wait until that period has expired before moving further and making any further announcements?
Well, we'll see, won't we? It's widely renowned that it got announced that Joe and Usyk will fight for the interim belt. Of course, Joe would much rather fight for the full belt. I believe that the two boys, AJ and Fury, have the right to fight for the undisputed title. But then I believe if a rematch was to happen, then that belt should become vacant because it's not fair on the challengers that have waited beforehand. So. Let's see how it plays out. Joe's in a great position, and Joe's not going anywhere, and we're firmly confident we will be fighting Usyk next.
Is there a date in terms of when you have to make that fight by before it goes to purse bids?
No, not yet.
You
shall see. You shall see.
Adamant that fight goes to purse bids.
Yeah, if it goes to purse bids, it goes to purse bids, doesn't it? What will be, will be. Joe's preparing for Usyk. He's sparring 3 people at a time. Do you see Usyk sparring those of them guys in the ring? I tweeted underneath, it really wound people up. I put, Usyk sparring 2 people, Joe sparring 4 people. People like, shut up, piss off. Like people get so wound up. It's just a joke, guys. It's a joke. Joe is in preparations to fight Alexander Usyk. But I think everybody wants to see Fury against AJ. You want to see it. I want to see it. The whole world wants to see it, apart from Alex Krasik. But yeah, other than that, everybody wants to see Joyce, Usyk, Fury, AJ. Give the fans what they want. I'm sure the fights will happen.
So let's put Joyce, Usyk away for now on the side. AJ Fury, with everything that you're hearing, what's your gut feeling? What do you think happens? Does that fight take place in the summer? Does it get moved to the winter?
I don't know, to be honest with you, mate. Like I'm certain the fight happens. I just don't know when. But I am certain the fight happens. There's too much money involved for that fight not to happen. It's too much. It's too big. It's the biggest fight in world boxing. It's the biggest fight in British boxing history. It'll probably break pay-per-view record, the all-time pay-per-view records. You just don't know. It's that big a fight. So it's sometimes when something's too big not to happen, it can't not happen, if you know what I mean. So let's just hope as fans, from a fan's perspective, that fight happens, because it's unbelievable. What an occasion that's going to be.
Absolutely. All right, Sam, thank you so much for giving me a little bit of your time today, my man. Let's enjoy fight week. Let's enjoy the fight on Saturday, and I'm sure we'll catch up in due course.
Absolutely, mate. Take care.
Sam Jones, IFL TV, thank you very much.